The easiest way to a fantasy football championship is just by stashing the breakout players before they go through and break out. We've had guys like Jackson Dart, Mason Taylor, Tajay Spears, a whole bunch of guys in this video in previous weeks that have helped us win a week, if not pretty much put us in place for a fantasy football championship and playoff run, starting with our priority list of Jackson Dart. If you don't have him, he is elite. He doesn't need the weapons to be elite. He gets a lot of rushing upside. That is why he is on this list. As we run through this priority list, guys, make sure to hit that like button. It helps me so much as a creator. And subscribe if you want to get this video on a consistent basis to beat your league mates. Next up, we have Aranda Gatson. Not much of an explanation here. This team is passing at a decent amount. He is a top target guy, and he's running as the same amount of routes as all of these wide receivers on the team. Common on guys also on this list. We've said in previous weeks, we've had him in the stash videos, the waiver videos. Ben Johnson likes to use 2 RB systems. He is going to be implemented into this offense, and we saw it last week splitting almost 50-50 with DeAndre Swift. Kamani Vidal is also obviously on the priority list. We have Tajay Spears as well, another guy that we said in previous weeks, gonna come in, take work from Tony Pollard, is doing exactly that. Bam Knight is also a priority add if you don't have him. Evan Ingram, Theo Johnson, Tuden, and Woody Marks. Number one stash of this video, though, is going to be Rashard Smith, with Isaiah Pacheco questionable with a knee injury coming into this week, likely to miss this game versus the Bills, who have been a very positive defense in allowing fantasy points to wide receivers, running backs, pretty much every single position in general, and just a ton of yards, let alone this Chiefs offense is rolling right now. They're scoring, they're controlling these games, which has allowed them to be 4th in rushing attempts, 7th in yards, 5th in touchdowns, and overall, a very, very efficient offense on the ground. Kareem Hunt is going to operate as the RB1. We don't have to put too much thought into that, but it gives Rashard Smith the opportunity to prove his value as a rookie running back, and as all rookie running backs do when given the opportunity, and they have their bye week in week 10. So if for whatever reason Smith comes out, shows out, there's a real chance that he earns himself a higher snap share and involvement number. Again, he's only taking about 20% of the snaps on the ground right now. His real value is going to be in the pass game. Over the last 5 games, he's averaged about 3 receptions per game. He's running the same amount of routes as Kareem Hunt, despite playing a considerable less amount of snaps. So that's going to be his in this offense on third downs and in the passing game. Pacheco will eventually come back, but we know it is an ambiguous backfield. The RB1 pretty much up to anybody, if not the RB2 for Rashard Smith. And again, if any of these running backs were to get injured, he is going to be a guy that will be borderline startable for us, and we need to stash him along with Isaiah Davis as soon as possible, guys. Again, another person we've had in these videos coming into his bye week, understandable. Then he has a terrible matchup against the Cleveland Browns the week after, but he is still one of the strongest stash players that you need to have, honestly, on the priority list. Last week, he saw 7 carries for 65 yards, a great efficiency there, but what's more important is his pass game involvement, again, like Rashard Smith and his snaps. Since Braylon Allen went out, Isaiah Davis has come in, playing 40% of these snaps to Breece Hall's 60 on average, and running the exact same number of routes per week. It's absolutely insane. Like, this, again, is where he can get his value. The Jets are so far out of playoff contention, sitting at 1-8 right now. There's a real chance that if they don't start stringing some wins together right now, maybe Breece Hall gets shipped, maybe they go for a rebuild, and that means Isaiah Davis is a league winner, let alone Breece Hall misses a couple games. He is a top-tier running back. Again, this is the time of year when you need to be stashing these potential running backs that could have season-long winning value, just like Devin Neal, who is another potential league winner if all things do go right. Now, we know Kendre Miller is out for the year, pushing him up the depth chart to the RB2, which might not look super valuable in this offense, considering he didn't get a single carry last week. I mean, that on top of a team that can't win cannot be good. But he played 46% of the snaps last week versus the Buccaneers. Very positive matchup, but 10% in week 7. You look at that, that was when Miller got injured. It's a massive jump because the team actually had a chance to game plan and scheme this offense. They need an RB2, hence why he played so many snaps. Now, he had 0 carries, which is really looking ugly and why nobody's picking him up. But Kamara only had 6, so it's not like it was some crazy, like, Derrick Henry level involvement. I guess prime Derrick Henry now. But he totaled 3 receptions on his 21 routes compared to Kamara's 2 receptions on his 22 routes. Another running back that works primarily in the pass game that, if given the opportunity, will be efficient and has proven to be that. Now, he's playing primarily in third downs. Like, he is their third down back right now on passing downs. I mean, again, like the Jets, the further this team gets away from playoff contention, the more and more work Devin Neal will get. They drafted him this year. He was kind of speculated to be the RB2, and then Kendre Miller did his thing, was good, but now he's out of the picture, and they have a top 10 rest of season's fantasy schedule for points allowed to running backs. Very positive situation. We also need to go through and scoop up Samaje Perine, continuing this running back carousel here, who just put up 17 fantasy points last week versus the Jets. But I have a secret for you. It's not just about the fantasy point number. If you've been around this page for long enough, you know I say that all the time. Don't just look at fantasy numbers and think, okay, he's a good ad or he's a bad ad. There's more that goes into it, which is why you need to be subscribed to a page like this. The only difference from last week and the previous is that number one, the Jets are a very positive matchup to yards per carry and running back points. Number two, he also scored a touchdown. Not much else has really changed. He's been playing 30 to 40% of the snaps since Burrow went out, getting a couple carries per game, but he's been very efficient on the numbers and the opportunities he has been getting. 5 yards per carry. I mean, on a team that is dead last in rushing yards before contact per attempt, that's really good. He played a total of 25 snaps to Brown's 32 last week. He ran 14 routes to his 17. This is where the underlying numbers matter. Again, make sure to be subscribed if you want to continue getting stuff like this, because when you look at the reception log, it doesn't look like he's running routes at all, but the opportunities will be there. There is going to be spike weeks up and down. And what's really good about this is that Taj Brooks, their other running back in this offense, has not played at all. Like, he has been a healthy scratch pretty much all year, telling us it's exclusively a 2 running back system, and the Bengals have the number 1 best rest of season schedule for the fantasy football playoffs. They get the Ravens, the Dolphins, and the Cardinals in the playoffs. And again, the rest of season schedule from now on is really, really good as well. They have been somewhat more competitive with Joe Flacco as well. It's giving this team more upside, more scoring opportunities in the red zone. He's another one of these premium handcuff running backs to where if Brown ever gets injured, he is going to win leagues. And guys, this is the time of year when you need to be making moves like that. Just like Jalen Coker, our first wide receiver stash of this video, it's so clear. So again, make sure to hit that like button. It helps me so much as a creator. Getting into him, week 7, his very first week back. He only played 37% of the snaps. He really got nothing there. 2 targets, no receptions. Everybody gave up. Everybody dropped him or just continued to fade his name. Now, we said to be patient. We said to be ready. Last week, he jumps in 66% of the snaps, good for 4 targets, 3 receptions, 36 yards. That's only going to go up. Like, when you look at these numbers, he's been working in. We knew he was going to be a top wide receiver. He's working in more 2 wide receiver sets. He didn't get any work in those sets a week prior to that. And in 3 wide receiver sets, he's getting everything. Like, he's on the field over Xavier Legette as well. So Coker is a slot wide receiver. We know these slot wide receivers typically get a higher snap and target share because of that. On a team that is decent in generating offense when Bryce Young is healthy, Ted McMillan is really a good thing for him in this offense because he's taking the focus of the defense, just like a Jamar Chase and a T. Higgins tandem would, or a Justin Jefferson and a Jordan Addison. Now, they're very, very far down compared to those because that's like the best of the best. But when you have a really good wide receiver 1, it lets the defense be a little softer somewhere else, aka for Jalen Coker. Again, he's going to work up to a higher snap share. He's had previous success on that last season as well. We need to be patient. He's coming off an injury. We also need to be stashing Colston Loveland ahead of this week's matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals, one of the most positive in allowing fantasy points to tight ends this year. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that. And if we don't get Cole Kmet back, even better. And we saw last week versus the Ravens, he played 32 of the total, 37 total routes run at the tight end position, led him to 5 targets. He is the only one running routes. Now, we didn't have Cole Kmet, but they trusted Colston Loveland with 100% of these snaps on 3rd downs and in the 2-minute drill, at 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets, literally everything. Now, he is still a little bit far off from just being a set and forget it guy in our starting lineups. The tight end possession is very, very washy. You need to be taking your chances on these guys. Now, Cole Kmet will come back, but this is an offense that is scoring enough, and he can be a good enough tight end, which he is in talent, to be there. So he's a guy, a future guy that we want to be stashing. But if you need a quarterback, or just want to play defense on one of your league mates that does need one and you don't want to let him get somebody good, go add JJ McCarthy, who is on track to start in week 9. If he does, it probably won't be the best thing ever, but this offensive power alone is going to make him a value add. You just look at who he's throwing to. He's got TJ Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson. I don't need to name the names. You guys know. But we saw in week 1 and 2 when he was healthy, he had solid upside. Like, he was rushing a little bit. The Vikings have one of the best supporting casts as well, and they have a very favorable rest of season schedule for quarterbacks specifically. So there is a chance he can be somebody in the fantasy playoffs that will provide you value. So I do like him. I'm not going through and starting him in his first week back, maybe even first 2 weeks. Again, this is the definition of a stash, and that's why you're watching this video. That's going to finish out this one, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be dropping my wide receiver and cornerback rankings, matchups, everything coming. I will see you guys in that one. All glory to the man above.